Hello, I'm Jonathan Bowman-Perks and welcome back to my favourite time of the week. And as part of the Inspiring Leadership series, I'm here with Peter Kavanagh, who is the CEO of Leaders Romans Group, LRG. Peter, welcome. It's great to have you on the series.
Thanks for having me.
Tell those who are listening a bit about LRG and how did you get involved in that? Because you began with just 10 people and now it's a massive business. I mean, just tell us a bit about it.
So I joined the company in 1991. It was a small company that had been founded by a guy called Dale Norton. It was just a private company based in Sandhurst.
Oh, Sandhurst, yeah.
And then we worked in that company. Got to work with some really good people, and then in 2013 the company had grown quite considerably and the business was sold to Bowmark Capital, a private equity company. They also owned a company called Leaders, and in 2016 they merged the two companies together. For me, I wanted to stay on in the company after the acquisition, and in 2018 the opportunity to become CEO came around, and it was something I was delighted to take the opportunity to do that.
Great. Well, we're talking the extra session about mergers and private equity because it interests us all and a lot of people get involved in that. But achieving all that you've achieved, who are the couple of two or three people who've inspired you? I think you mentioned your first one was your mum, wasn't it?
Yeah, my mum. So my mum came from Southern Ireland, grew up on a farm, one of 10 children, and I think growing up she absolutely wanted her children to do as well as they could for themselves. So she definitely gave me a really good work ethic, but also to understand the importance of humility and how you treat people properly during life.
Very good.
And then I think from a business point of view, as I said, I got to work with Dale. Dale had founded Romans, I think Dale Norton.
Norton.
True entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And the things I always enjoyed about working with Dale was his willingness to make brave decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think over the time we've worked for a lot of leading house builders, and I've really enjoyed getting to know and working with a lot of sort of owner occupiers. So people like Philip Davis, who founded Linden Homes before he sold that. Tony Pidgley's still at Barclay, and the thing I always admired about them was just their drive and determination to build their businesses and the passion they had for them.
Yeah, and you were saying that once they'd made the money, it wasn't the money after that. It was what, winning and growing.
I think for them it's never about money. It's about passion for what they're doing and for their business. And I think for wanting to do bigger and better. Yeah. I think that's what both of them have continued to do. And I think when you're still working in your 70s and have the same drive and passion, that's incredible to witness.
I was at a charity event, a big property charity event, and Tony was there, and I got to chat with him. Found him a very interesting guy, real down to earth kind of character.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then as leaders, we all learn as we go along, and we continue learning as we discussed earlier. You must have made your share of mistakes. What would be one of the mistakes that you'd share, and what did you learn from it?
Well, I mean, I think there's lots of mistakes, isn't there? We make mistakes around people. We make mistakes when we're doing work. I think the main thing I've probably learned is rather than I think you need to make a judgment very quickly, and if you're wrong, it's much better to put your hand up and say, look, we're wrong. Yeah. I'm really sorry. And now how are we going to rectify it? Because you can just move on a lot quicker and not let people become too defensive about or worry that we've made a mistake.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I think one of the questions I always ask CEOs is, when was the last time you were dead wrong? First question, and it's interesting to hear. It's interesting to hear how quickly they respond to that one. And the second one was, how quickly did you realise that you were wrong? And the third one is, and then how quickly did you act on it, admit you were wrong? And you just really touched on that you do need to respond quickly and admit when things aren't working out, because then you can do something about it, can't you?
Yeah, you can, and we all make mistakes every day. There's no doubt about it. And I think also when you're in a really senior role, it's important that the people who work closely with you understand that making mistakes is not a problem as well. They can come and talk about it, and then we can agree what we're going to do. Yeah. You just get through it much quicker.
Yeah, well, I think back to one of my old sergeant majors who were very down to earth and very blunt. And he said, look, sir, he said, let me put it this way. He said, if you've got a cut and you tell me about it, I can put a plaster on it and we can get it better. said, if you keep quiet about it for 6 months, he's got gangrene. I have to take you into the surgeon. We have to saw off the soggy end. He said, that's no good, is it?
No,
so look, just tell me early on and we can do something about it. But don't hide it, because if you hide it, it then festers and gets much worse. And I'm sure that's, you know, in any business, and you've probably seen that, is when people disguise, hide, lie about things, and then it eventually emerges months, years later, that becomes a problem, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the danger is the longer you let it run, the more damage you do to your business and the brand of your business. And, you know, I think actually what most people just want you to do is put it right.
Yeah.
And don't prolong the pain for them by denying. So I think, that's my advice, is just sort it out as quickly as you can.
That's good advice. And then if you were to leave people with a sort of top tip, what would your top tip leadership be for people, and why would you choose that one?
In terms of, I suppose my top tip for people is just to be yourself, and that treating people the way that you want to be treated yourself is so true. And I think that if people feel comfortable and they know what they're coming into, so if you're calm, collected, measured, people know what to expect every day. I don't think you get the best from people when they come into an uncertain situation where they don't know which version of you you're going to get.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And I think someone being authentic and also not shouting and screaming. Some misleaders, as I call them, or sort of expiring leaders, the one who suck the life out of you, like Harry Potter's Dementors. They think that they can shout and scream and people would admire them or do more, but they don't, do they?
They don't. And I think being a CEO of any company is a real privilege, but your responsibility is for the whole business and for everyone in it. It's definitely not about you as a person, and I think anyone who thinks it's a platform for them and their ego, you're never going to be successful.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Peter, thank you very much for being on the show. It's really good having you here. Thank you.